ready to start HNN Live. Please turn your cameras on in 3, 2, 1. We are live.
Yay! Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Annette, Tyler, Steve,
Berto,
hey,
Zamia Theater Project presents Homeless News Network, starring Caroline Mannheimer, Corey Walton, Greg Tromzarek, Marvin Howard, Annette Bryant, Lurch, Robert Blood, Shannon Kemp, Sol Sepulveda, Tahiti Robinson.
Yes. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. A hearty welcome to America and to our viewers. Welcome to Zamia's Homeless News Network. I'm Corey Walton coming to you live from Zamia's world headquarters in downtown Minneapolis. And boy, do we have a show in store for you today. This is our last 2020 show / Christmas edition of HNN. Now, our theme for today's episode is beginnings and endings, or B&E for all you hip audience members. So time to kick it off. But before we do, we want to remind our audience to please help us keep HNN on an interactive track. As always, we invite you, our audience, to share your thoughts throughout the program in our chat box. Because what's the use of a Zoom chat box if you're not going to be interactive? Now, who don't agree with that, right? And speaking of agree, yes, you guessed it. We're going to kick off our episode like we always do with our Zamia agreements, sort of the rules by which we conduct ourselves. But we are Zamia, so we are not about to just read Zamia agreements to you like some rehearsed opening statement at a Senate hearing. No, not our style. We have to zambastic it up. So, since this is Christmas time, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the 7 days of Christmas, starring the Zamia agreements.
On the first day of Zamia, the agreement they gave to me is stay focused and engaged.
On the second day of Zamia, the agreement they gave to me is treat each other equally.
And stay focused and engaged.
On the third day of Zamia, the agreement they gave to me was stay focused and engaged.
And assume
Good intentions.
Treat each other equally.
And stay focused and engaged.
On the fourth day of Zamia, the agreement they gave to me was remember why we're here.
Assume good intentions.
Treat each other equally.
And stay focused and engaged.
On the fifth day of Zamia, the agreement they gave to me, have fun.
Remember why we're here.
Assume good intentions.
Treat each other equally.
And stay focused and engaged.
On the sixth day of Christmas, Zamia gave to me
Cultivate.
an attitude of gratitude.
On the seventh day of Zamia, Zamia gave to me notice our impact on ourselves, each other, and the community.
And cultivate an attitude of gratitude.
Oh, no, I'm having some fun.
Remember why we're here.
Assume good intentions.
Treat each other equally.
And stay focused and
engaged. Oh, I told you that was going to be good, y'all. The Zamia Agreement, 7 Days of Christmas style. Lovely segment. And as always, we invite you, our audience, to share your thoughts about our agreements in the chat box. Got a favorite one? Is there one you particularly relate to? Tell us about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, let's keep this beginnings and endings tracks. And speaking of endings, many times with an ending comes a reflection. And we have a special one for you right now from a special lady. Here with a 2020 reflection like only she can give is actor, author, my Zamia troop mate and friend, the incomparable Annette Bryant.
All right, thank you. The name of my poem is 2020. I remember the excitement everyone felt as you were on your way in, to the clearest vision, to be exact, to more and more. Let's make it happen. Now I look back, yet who could ever imagine such a detach? One thing I can say are some are starting to reconnect. Families are coming together and starting to recognize each other again. Others are left alone, having to fend for this and that. Still, others have no safe place to be. What is in store for those without walls? Some older, some younger, even families, and more. Creating fear amongst many and uncertainties for most. Is there anything in life that's a guarantee? It comes time to become present in universal humanities. Yet 2020 will always be in our history. I'm sure it will be one of the biggest years for the most Zoomin. 2020 has been the universe way of saying it's time for humanity to seep in. We all are connected and each one has been affected. It's time to get back to the basics of what it means to be human. Step forward and embrace all the amazing human experiences. Be the change, be the peace, be the love, be the healing in this space. Together, we will create stepping into the possibilities of the unknown and going deeper inside yourself and discovering who you're being. Because life, as we know it, has forever been transformed. Thank you, Annette Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, actor, author, poet, Annette Bryant, with her reflection on 2020. Thanks, Annette. And as always, we invite your feedback on Annette's tribute in our chat box. Next, y'all, is my personal favorite segment of the show. Now, I know I always say that, but this time I really mean it. And you can tell the way my face lights up when I say this, like a Christmas light. I really mean this. That I must be referring to Zamia's always popping one-word segment go-around. Yes, sir, Bob. It's time for part one of our one-word go-around segment. Now, if this is the first time you're with us, you'll catch on pretty quickly to one of the liveliest segments of our show. So in sticking with the theme of this week's show, beginnings and endings, the thought for round one is, show them what it is, Shan. I'm finishing. Remember, audience, please feel free to drop your comments into our chat box. What are you finishing? Me? I'm finishing 2020 with a bang.
I'm finishing 2020 what I started in 2020, but I'm finishing up for the end. I'm starting what I finished.
I'm finishing procrastination.
I'm finishing a painting that I've kind of stuck in the corner and not paid attention to it for a long time. So I'm finishing that.
I'm finishing not being in action.
I'm finishing up the toys for the children.
I'm finishing reading the chat. Come on, what are you guys finishing out there?
I'm finishing a very weird 2020.
I'm finishing my juicy book, telling it like it is, to whom it may concern. Yes.
And finishing a heck of a month of creativity, y'all.
I'm finishing my crocheting of slippers.
I'm finishing what needs to be done.
I'm finishing the accidental murder of my houseplants.
I'm completely finished with wearing the mask. What do you think?
I'm finishing lots of details, year-end wrap-up reports and budgets and stuff for Zamya.
I was told to wear this hat in finishing school.
I'm finishing the last days of a bad presidency.
I'm finishing with all toxic relationships.
Now, for our last rotation of round one of our go-around segment, we're going to tweak the script a bit with this following statement. Show them, Shans. I'm ending. What are you ending? Me? I'm ending the most unpredictable year of my entire life.
I'm ending my phase.
I'm ending the year on a positive note.
I'm ending this sentence with a question mark.
I'm ending being empty and disconnected.
I'm ending white supremacy however I can.
With Zamya, I'm trying to end homelessness one story at a time.
I'm ending my 3rd year in Zamia.
I'm ending all heartache in my life.
Ah, what a beautiful one to end with. I love you. I love you, Soul Sister Soul. Or do I love me some go around segment? But my deep love and affection for the go around segment will not stop me from liking other HNN features like this next one. From HNN's funky, fresh, groovy, doobie director extraordinaire, my guy Lurch. Now, during our November 5th episode of HNN, we introduced a poppin' news segment called What the Heck Did You Just Say? Featuring our director Lurch, AKA Librarian Lurch, breaking down some acronyms and buzzwords like only he can do. So he's back with a fly new follow-up installment, and this time with a fair market vibe to it. Ladies and gentlemen, Librarian Lurch in What the Heck Did You Just Say?
Welcome to the Library of Absurd Words. I'm your host, Lurch the Librarian. And today, in our mini book of absurd words, we're going to explore the word fair market value in all its glorious and devious forms. Let's see what we can learn about fair market value. Fair market value. It's a price willing and knowledgeable unpressured buyers is willing to pay to a willing and knowledgeable unpressured seller. It's often used in real estate investments, legal, stock market, and it can be applied anywhere, any buyer or seller's market. Have you seen an unpressured seller or buyer? This is rather mysterious to me. Because I feel when you see a place that's particularly nice and maybe a better market value than what necessarily may not be fair, you tend to be rushed to get it because there's someone else willing to buy it before you. So is it really a fair market value then? And is it really unpressured? I don't know. This is bamboozling to me. This source may be like a Sony, and this may be like some unnamed Chinese TV brand. But this TV is $1,000 more. Would you really buy this TV? Or would you buy the one's name brand? What does name brand really mean anymore when it comes to fair market value? I think it's driving this world, this idea of extreme materialism. And extreme materialism leads to an unattainable goal. The unattainable goal that you must have better and better and better. That's not good enough anymore. And I'd be much happier living in a world where there is good enough. And I'm not always looking for the best of the best of the best, but I'm happy with good enough. And that idea in and of itself is kind of absurd. So next time you seek absurdity, look on the shelves and look around your house, look around yourself, look within yourself. Because it's just lying in wait around the corner. From the Library of Absurd Words, I bid you adieu, Librarian Lurch.
Yes, fantastic information indeed. Thank you, Librarian Lurch, for that slamming segment of what the heck did you just say? Wonderful information indeed. And speaking of wonderful, we have a special treat lined for you right now with two wonderful ladies. And when I say ladies, I mean ladies. Crack open any dictionary you want. Webster's, Oxford English, Webster's, Merriam, any one of them. And look up the word lady and you will find side by side two pictures of my troop mates, Tahiti Robinson and Soul Sister Soul, here to grace us with their beauty, charm, talent, and intelligence. Soul and her fantastic introduction to Miss Tahiti Robinson and her city council testimony. Take it away, ladies.
Yes, on December 9th, 2020, 400 persons talked at the 2021 City Council budget proposal meeting for the police department. Among them was our very own Samia Troop member, Tahiti Robinson, who was public speaker number 215, who I am now proudly bringing before you so that you can hear her testimony in her own words. Therefore, I will say no more. Take it away, sister girl. Do your thing.
Well, thank you for the wonderful introduction. My testimony is no human being should be tracked or treated like a wild animal at any time. The Minneapolis Police Department is more concerned with protecting private property than they are protecting the homeless and people of color. My friend is homeless, and she's been told by the police officer that she can't park at vacant lots overnight, even though she's just trying to have a safe place to sleep at night. Why is it that in a city with more than vacant housing than I can count, we are prioritizing harassing people like my friend instead of finding them a place to live? I urge the city council to vote on the budget that prioritizes getting our homeless affordable housing instead of funding their harassment. Help us make our city and our state more beautiful and friendly by making it more livable for everybody, for all people all over the world, no matter what they look like or how much money they make. May God be with you all.
Oh, I love that. So in case you haven't picked up on it, Zamia absolutely loves them some Tahiti Robinson, our birthday girl. And likewise, my soul sister Soul. And if you want to read more of that testimony from Tahiti, it's posted on our Facebook page. And please, if you have any thoughts whatsoever about Tahiti's testimony, let's hear them in the chat box. Excuse me. Okay, I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, our next segment you're all familiar with. It's our headline news. Now, ordinarily, I get a little loud and obnoxious when I intro the headline news segment because historically the segment is a humorous look at real news. And don't get me wrong, this week does have some humor, but it deals with a very serious topic, and I'd like to give that topic the respect it deserves. So here, delivering the news line, nobody else can, Marvelous Marvin Howard and Esther O with Headline News.
And now for the news. Not new news, but the same old news.
Every 51 seconds, a child is born into poverty.
Let's experience 51 seconds. We'll take a look at a news briefing with President Trump that lasted exactly 51 seconds.
Despite everything that's taken place with the pandemic, I'm very thrilled with what's happened on the vaccine front. That's been absolutely incredible. It's nothing like that has ever happened medically, and I think people are acknowledging that, and it's having a big effect. But the stock market's just broken 30,000. Never been broken, that number. That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. That's the 9th time since the beginning of 2020, and it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration. And I just want to congratulate all the people within the administration that worked so hard. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the people of our country, because there are no people like you. Thank you very much, everybody.
A child was just born into poverty.
Hey, Marvin, you got kids, right?
Yeah, I got kids and grandkids.
Yeah, me too. I got kids and grandkids. I got another grandkid on the way. You got a fairly new grandson, right?
I do.
Every 2 minutes, a baby is born into what is considered to be extreme poverty.
Young children experiencing homelessness.
Infancy is the age at which a person is most likely to live in a shelter.
1 million children have an 18 to 25-year-old parent who experienced homelessness during the past year. We always try to find something to laugh about in the headlines, but today's headline breaks our hearts.
As the winter holiday season approaches, HNN News wishes joy and safety and shelter for every child during this season and always.
Child homelessness in the U.S. at highest in more than a decade.
More than 1.5 million public school students nationwide were homeless. Every year, more than 2 million kids in America will face a period of homelessness.
In the United States, as many as 20,000 kids are forced into prostitution by human trafficking networks every year.
There are as many homeless kids in Minnesota as the population of some cities.
More than 9,000 Minnesota students are identified as homeless at the start of 2019-2020 school year. According to the data from the Minnesota Department of Education, that's about as many who live in cities like Detroit Lakes and Waseca.
November 28th, 2020. A recent survey found that 88% of teachers reported children missing school as a key issue. This is often because children can face significant difficulties with school if they become homeless and are accommodated a long way from their former home.
87% reported children coming to school hungry. Alarming charges faced by homeless children.
Children experiencing homelessness often have delays in child development. By the time homeless children are toddlers, they typically have delays in things like speech and toilet training. By the age of 5, most homeless children have at least one major developmental delay.
Homeless children must not be invisible victims to the pandemic.
We uplift these words from the Children's Defense Fund.
We envision an America where no child lives in poverty and all children have the opportunities they need to reach their full potential.
Protecting children against the lifelong consequences of poverty will improve their life and reduce child poverty in future generations.
As a country, we have the resources to end child poverty now and must create the will to do so. We can't afford to wait.
The future of our children and our nation depends on it.
And that's all for today's headlines.
Stay well.
Leave no child behind And as always,
Happy holidays.
happy holidays.
Building on that important headline news topic, it only seems appropriate to just slide right into the second edition of the segment we began a couple of episodes ago. Everyone Has a Story. This month's Everyone Has a Story segment is brought to you by our very own Annette Bryant. Let's hear some of Annette's story.
All right. So hi, my name is Annette Bryant, and I would like to share my story with you. First, I would like to start by saying I used to drive a bus, and also I suffered an injury, a life-changing injury that has changed my life. And I just want to let you know that nothing in this world, no job or anything is ever guaranteed. So I'll share my story about what it was for when me and my daughter became homeless. We went to a shelter called the Family Place. And on going to the shelter, they had an opportunity for us to be in the 16-week program, which allowed for us to be in a house that was provided for those families that was in shelter that was willing to do the program. So I asked my daughter, would she be willing to go into this house? And she said yes. And the name of the house was Casa. So in Casa, I thought about like if everybody that was in the shelter, well, that actually was in the class with us, not necessarily the shelter, that it would be pretty fun. And it didn't work out that way. As adults, when we are forced into a situation through no fault of our own or through a mishap in life, we have to remember that we bring baggage with us. And also our children, they carry what they know and the burdens of what the parents hold. Each person really desires to have their own, and there's nothing more that me and my daughter wanted to have. We'll have our own place. Yet Casa, for the time being, was just like home. And as I stated, I was injured. So from this fall, I suffered major nerve damage called sciatica. Now, can you imagine every day you have to get up and walk to the bus stop, get on the bus, and then walk to the shelter? That's what it was like for me. Every few steps I walked was so painful, I just wanted to break down and cry. So anyway, this being at Casa gave me an opportunity to be in a safe space and to work on my healing. And from the first day we got to Casa, we met the family. That was the house family there, and they had twin girls. And so coming home every evening to them and seeing their smiling faces and hearing their beautiful voices, it was like family. They also treated us very well there. And there was another family that also stayed with us there. and it felt like a community. I'm thankful for my experience at CASA because it was a place of peace. I was able to spend time with my grandchildren and put smiles on their faces during this time. And most of my stay was a delight. I was able to cook sometimes for myself, and then even snack time was fun. I'm thankful that CASA existed because it made our transition one would assist. And I'm thankful for all the people that I met along the way, even the weekend staff. And I'm thankful for each person that was responsible for creating that space. And just a little further note, the family place, Noah CASA, no longer exists. And I would also like to share a poem that I wrote at this time. I have emerged often in life, the first time being birthed. I emerged forth from the womb to show the world my worth. From baby to toddler to school age to middle school, emerging on each step without ever knowing. To teenage to early 20s, and life finally just begun. Motherhood at 17, emerging all the way. Not knowing much about myself with another life to sway. Married life at 19, emerging more each day. I still had no clue whom I was, for life had truly begun. Tossed here, tossed there, something different every day. For who am I? Will I really ever know? Baby 2, then 3, and 4, our family continued to grow. So much in between, so much I needed to know. No going back, just push ahead to be stuck in a whirlwind. Now 5 and 6, it's really thick. I'm drowning deep within. Emerging forth, yes, I will again. Emerging on so many roads of life. I sit and think, will I ever get it right? Fast forward to today, as I have emerged from a journey that has given more than was expected. I'm emerging forth with all the wonderful experiences of life I have collected. As I step forth from today, emerging into the unexpected, still emerging. This poem was written October 27, 2015. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that fantastic poem and fantastic story from our very own Annette Wright. Please do share any thoughts you have on Annette's story in our chat box. Now we transition to one of the coolest dudes on the planet. This is this is my guy. This is my troop mate, Greg Pizak, with a very important word for all of you about an important virtual event taking place tonight. Greg, what you got?
Thank you, Corey. Well, each year, the homeless community loses many of its friends and neighbors. And this year, like every year, the Homeless Memorial virtual service will be accessible on the Simpson Housing Service Facebook page and website at www.simpsonhousing.org. For 35 years, hundreds of community members have come together for the Homeless Memorial March and service to remember people who have died while homeless. This year, on December 17th, today, at 7 o'clock, the Homeless Memorial will be pre-recorded video service. We will remember 197 homeless individuals, formerly homeless friends, and advocates who passed away in 2020. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan will be the keynote speaker, and the service will include the traditions of reading of the names of each person lost this year and sharing memorial reflections. So for more information, please visit our website at www.simpsonhousing.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you indeed, Greg. Thank you so much for that important information. That is tonight, everyone, tonight. Like Greg said, go to simpsonhousing.org, top right-hand corner, click on Homeless Memorial. Get all the information right there. Now, of course, the memorial is about celebrating individual lives, not letting endings go uncelebrated. But from endings come new beginnings. That's why we celebrate birthdays. And that's why we wanted to bring you a very, very special segment by our very own Roberto Blood, offering perhaps the best expression on our theme, beginnings and endings, in this very special segment. Roberto is about to bless us all with a tribute to the birth and the passing of his beautiful sister.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. I lost my sister 8 years ago. Today would have been her 57th birthday, so I decided to tell a story, but these stories are going to be told in poetry. The first poem will be about me bringing her back to Florida for her burial. The second one is just me trying to deal with her, losing her. And the third one will be about what I think she might be saying to me. So here's the first one. It's called Full Circle. Barb's finally coming home after 61 days. There's no more pain, no more hospital stays. No more mommy it hurts or crying late at night. No more smiles of I love you or kisses good night. We wish you were here, your laughter all around, making us giggle with that sweet special sound. It was with me you took your last ride, and now coming home, you're again at my side. But always remember, you're my shining star. Hugs and kisses to heaven, because that's where you are. Part 2, it's called Sister True. Seems like only yesterday, I lost my sister dear. How I long to hold her, how I wish that she was here. Her memory still fills my mind, her I can't forget. I don't know how to let her go or say goodbye just yet. She knew how to pick me up whenever I was down. She knew how to make me laugh. She was my class clown. She knew how to give a hug or just a simple touch. How I miss those little things. I miss her very much. I know it's been 8 long years since I lost my sister True, but always remember, Barbie, I'll always think of you. And in part 3, Piece of My Heart. I see you from above, scared and all alone. I can never forget the love that you have shown. When I passed, it hurt you deeply inside. Your pain and your sorrow you could no longer hide. I can never forget the life that we had. It hurts me so badly to see you so sad. I'm glad you told the truth when I asked if I will die. I'm glad you were there when I said goodbye. And now in heaven, I have a new start. Here's a little gift, a piece of my heart. And I carry that piece with me all the time. So just remember, even if you lose something that means a lot to you, there's always something you can rely on, and that's her memory. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you, Roberto. Thank you for that moving, touching segment. I know your sister's looking down. She must be so proud of you, brother. Love you, man. Love you. In the audience, if you have anything you'd like to share back with Roberto, please do so in the chat box. And Roberto has provided us a perfect jumping off point for part 2 of our go around segment. As a reminder, in part 1 of our go around, we focused on I'm finishing and I'm ending, more in line with our endings theme. So now we're going to flip the script to the beginnings theme. In part 2 of the go around, let's complete this thought. Show it to him, Shans. I'm starting. Again, we invite the audience to share thoughts in the chat box. What are you starting? Me? I'm starting 2021 with a prayer.
I am starting to see the light in these dark days.
I'm starting to get my stuff together.
I'm starting to see what there is to see.
I'm starting to relaunch my brand.
I'm starting my 6th decade.
I'm started to be flooded by memory.
I'm starting a life in a new home.
I'm starting a new life with soul because I'm starting to like soul and to become soul.
I'm starting a personal campaign to be more compassionate.
I am starting my 5th year in Zambia.
I'm starting to accept more responsibility.
I'm starting to take time to stop and smell the roses. There's no roses, but you know what I mean.
I'm starting to imagine a year without masks.
I'm starting to count my steps.
I am starting to fall in love with the world again.
I'm starting a new outlook on life.
I'm starting to put together my new poetry book.
I want to throw a curveball at my Zam mates, so y'all hang with me now, okay? We're going to use part 2 of our go-around segment as our one-word checkout. So double duty here. But only this time you can use more than one word if you need to. So to end the last HNN 2020 installment, beginnings and endings, our checkout will be finish this sentence. To start a new year in 2021, you see Shan's is showing it right there. I am beginning. Me? I'm beginning a strong effort to see things from others' perspective.
I'm beginning to feel more like Christmas every day.
I'm beginning to finish what I started.
I'm beginning to stop starting a million projects and focus on one. So I'm beginning to control my ADD.
I'm beginning to enjoy being connected to others.
I'm beginning to really understand the connection between my well-being and your well-being.
I am beginning to feel how short life is.
I'm beginning to have hope that this COVID stuff will be eradicated next year.
Well, I'm beginning to live my life like I'm supposed to and to reflect more.
Fantastic. Fancy. See, I didn't throw my Zam mics off balance there. So usually after our go around, we pick one word for our checkout word. But today, for a special Christmas, a tribute to Christmas and New Year's, we're going to have a 2-word go out, and it's happy holidays. So everybody, put your virtual hands in the middle. We're going out on happy holidays. Happy holidays. Thank you, Zam fam members. You, our viewers, our Zamtastic Rebecca Noon, our dynamic director Lurch, and of course, all of you. Also, we want to extend a warm gratitude to all of you who joined HNN episodes live in 2020, and of course, all of you who checked out the episodes posted on our website and Facebook page. Speaking of Facebook page and website, remember to visit and like our Facebook page and stop by our website at ZambiaTheater.org to see upcoming events and sign up for our newsletter. The latest issue was just released in November, so check it out. Also, I'm not one to beg, but please, please, please stop by our Facebook page and click on Zambia HNN Live Season 3 survey link and fill out our survey. Just 6 little questions, then hit submit, because we need to hear from y'all on ways we can improve the show. So be on the lookout for brand new HNN episodes in 2021. And finally, from our whole entire Zamly to your family, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Zamtastic New Year.
Yay. I've always wanted someone to tell some homeless jokes.
Tell some homeless.
That's some homeless
Hey,
jokes.
you're the one with the homeless guy that went into the bar?
I don't know. Do you only order water?
He said, I'd like to have a room for 2, please.
Did you hear the one about the homeless guy who went to the doctor?
No.
He was like, "Can I get a prescription for housing?" It's like all these jokes that aren't really jokes. I like, did you hear the one? The homeless person who went to school?
No.
Can we
No.
figure out how to house everybody?